Tampa and Super Bowl 55. And now a special message from the President and First Lady of the United States.
Super Bowl Sunday.
Before kickoff, we wanted to thank all the frontline healthcare heroes, both at the game and watching across the country. You put yourself at risk to keep the rest of us safe. You and your families carried us through this year with courage, compassion, and kindness. We couldn't have made it without you. With all our hearts, thank you.
And as we thank you and all of our essential workers, let's remember, we all can do our part to save lives. Wear masks, stay socially distanced, get tested, get vaccinated when it's your turn. And most of all, let's remember all those who we've lost. So please join us, Kansas City Chiefs, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the National Football League, in a moment of silence for the more than 440,000 Americans who lost their life in this pandemic and for their loved ones who are left behind.
Biden gets booed at Super Bowl 55 in what's nothing less than a massive backlash against woke sports. In this video, we're going to take a look at Biden's embarrassment at the Super Bowl, how the ratings for woke sports have tanked, and how perhaps the most extensive data analysis ever conducted shows conclusively that audiences want nothing more to do with woke sports ever. You are not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve here with you. Great to be with you. As always, we're here to give you each and every day conservative hope in the midst of these turbulent times by analyzing current events, allows some super awesome conservative trends that can help you to think better so you can feel better. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Come on now, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. We would love to have you as a regular part of this channel. Also for you Rumble fans out there, make sure to subscribe to our brand new Rumble channel by clicking on the link below. We're heading upwards to about 100,000 subs there. And for you podcast fans, we're now one of the top 20 podcasts in the nation for political commentary. So make sure to click on that link below and sign up for our various podcast platforms as well. Now, before we begin, let's give a huge shout out to the sponsor of this video. Keep our lights on here, and that's the makers of the Backup Solar Bank. In the midst of this whole emergency situation we found ourselves in over the last year, one of the best things we can invest in for our protection when the lights go out is what's called a solar power bank. So it's a backup power bank that's obviously powered by the sun. It allows you to charge up to 2 devices at once. You'll never have to waste money on batteries again. Now, supply is limited, and this is your very last chance to get yours at a 20% discount before they sell out. So do not wait. Click on that link below right now and give you and your family a gift of power anywhere in the world. Click on the link below, or you can visit them directly at backupsolarbank.com. That's backupsolarbank.com. You'd be glad that you did. All right, again, let's dive right in here. What do we say to this? I mean, it was frankly embarrassing. I mean, seriously. I mean, it was sad, to be honest, in a pathetic sort of way, I guess, you know. Here you have the single most popular president in the history of humanity, right? I mean, he pre-records a message for the Super Bowl where his wife does most of the speaking since, well, I mean, literally seems to have a hard time moving his mouth. Super Bowl Sunday. So the most popular president in the history of humanity shows up on the Super Bowl Teletron, and he gets mercilessly booed. I mean, you heard it for yourself. Now, consider me odd, but that's not the kind of reaction we would expect for the most popular president in the history of humanity. Kind of reminds me of his inauguration, right? We did a video on that fiasco. Estimates are that at best, as I understand it, at best, they got maybe 2,000 people to attend a presidential inauguration. Let that hit you. Now, I know, the official line is it's because of the threat of insurrection. That's why there were over 10 times more National Guard troops and inauguration attendees. I get it. But they were talking about a virtual inauguration back in December of last year, a month before the insurrection. So it started off by blaming COVID and then, of course, the ongoing threat of insurrection. But as John Cardillo on Twitter pointed out, the truth is Biden simply couldn't generate an inauguration crowd that would exceed the pathetic attendance at his rallies, which were a joke. There were more MAGA fans showing up than Biden fans, so it was pretty obvious that the most popular president in the history of humanity couldn't generate much of an audience, and the optics would have been absolutely devastating for the whole world to see. So they made up a scenario. You know, a massive crowd that would have come had to be turned back because of COVID or insurrection. So I don't think he's fooling anyone at this point. And the booing at the Super Bowl is just confirmation of that. Now, regardless, the pre-recorded video played just before kickoff. Biden and his wife babbled about social distancing and the lives that have been lost during the pandemic and blah, blah, blah. And then they try to have a moment of silence at the end. It didn't work. And that's because the whole thing didn't work. Now, this backlash against the Bidens, I think, is part of a wider backlash against woke sports in general. A number of pundits are recognizing that there's nothing short of what we might call a tsunami of opposition towards the increasingly woke sports leagues that are infesting our nation's professional athletics. Now, of course, I'm sure you're all familiar first and foremost with the ratings debacle that's been going on of late for the NFL and the NBA. It's also hit Major League Baseball. I mean, the dramatic drop in ratings signals an obviously significant level of fan disappointment with professional sports, which coincides with the recent obsession professional athletes and teams have had with the BLM movement and showing just how woke they can be as warriors for social justice. We got all the kneeling that's been going on during the national anthem, particularly at basketball events. We even saw it recently in professional soccer. We got Black Lives Matter murals painted on virtually every basketball court, number of pitchers' mounds and the like. And so, I mean, it seems rather obvious viewers aren't tuning into this. They're being turned off by all this incessant wokeness. But it's not just the ratings collapse. We now have some very solid data that shows that sports fans utterly detest political correctness and woke politics infused in their sports. Now, this comes to us from Philip Stutz from Medium.com. We've featured his analysis before in other videos. It's very, very good. Stutz is an expert in political marketing, very influential fellow, and he wrote an article some months back entitled, "Sports Has a Problem, Being Woke Ain't Helping." And in it, he details the findings of some stunning data on sports fan sentiments towards this new revival of wokeness that's swamped professional sports. Listen to this. I'll quote from him. "Since March, my company has partnered with the largest data collection, analytics, and AI company in America to understand how the economy has shifted due to the coronavirus shutdown and subsequent Black Lives Matter protests and riots. Our 6 national consumer data insights reports have currently analyzed 225,253 consumer surveys, matched it to 200 million plus Americans in our database, 550 million connected devices, and tracking 10 billion daily online decisions. It is the most extensive data research conducted in America to this point. I did not originally intend to be reporting on sports data, but the patterns became clear. It's important to know what's happening, what's not being reported by the woke sports media, and how it will affect all sports." So that's the setup here. What we're about to learn regarding how Americans are reacting to all this wokeness in professional sports is a result of the most extensive data research ever conducted in America, right? So what did he find out? Is it 50-50? What is it? The data clearly shows, quote, that 87 to 92% of Americans do not want corporations and athletes preaching woke politics. You are not crazy for wanting to watch games and be distracted in these weird times, instead of being told how bad a person you are for not agreeing with a woke reporter or athlete's opinion. I mean, wow. 87 to 92% of Americans in the most extensive survey yet want nothing to do with woke sports, period. I mean, it just does not get more devastating than that. And he goes on to ask a really good question. He asks, how else can you explain why the PGA, the Pro Golfers Association, is actually outrating the NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball, and the like? The explanation is simple once you realize that the PGA is unique in that it has thus far refrained from promoting any political agenda being expressed by its league or its players. So the ratings collapse, along with some of the most extensive, not the most extensive data research ever conducted, together corroborate that sports fans want nothing to do with woke politics and political correctness in their sports. But don't tell that to the NFL commissioner, Roger Goodell, because as far as he's concerned, any one of you don't like woke sports, well, you ain't welcome any longer to the NFL. Now, before we get into that, I want to make sure you get our free gift just for you. Make sure to click on the link below and download your own fake news antidote. We've updated our compilation. It's now of over 30 alternative news sites that I go to for my news each and every day. All conservative, all celebrating Trump and the nationalist populist revolt. And boy, do we need these news resources now more than ever. You can download your own copy of our updated fake news antidote completely free at the link down below in the pinned comment section, and have a ready list of your go-to sites that you'll definitely enjoy and it will inspire you through these trying and tumultuous times. It's yours absolutely free by clicking on the link below. It is my gift to you. All right, gang. Unfortunately, the message that fans want nothing to do with this woke nonsense has yet to make its way to Roger Goodell, the NFL commissioner. When he was confronted with the abysmal ratings plunge, he responded defiantly. He was recently interviewed on CNBC, and he was asked directly if he was prepared for an audience backlash against all the NFL's BLM-related additions to their league's uniforms and fields and programming. Was he prepared for a ratings hit? And here's what Goodell said, and I quote, "Ratings always go up and down for a variety of reasons. We're supporting our players. We look behind the ratings number. We always have. We don't look at it as a straight line, up and down. We look at this as an opportunity to grow our audience with different segments of the population to make sure that we're reaching more people on more platforms." Did you catch that? Did you hear what he said? He just said that he knows they're going to get hit big time, but that's for a variety of reasons. It's not necessarily because we're woke, but of course, he knows it's precisely because they're woke. That's why they're looking for a different audience. If you're an NFL fan, Roger Goodell just said he does not care about you. He cares more about wokeness than he cares about your sentiments. So just because there's a backlash against professional sports in terms of a ratings plunge doesn't mean that the NFL is going to repent and let go of all this nonsense. As Goodell promised, they're just going to pick up and look for another audience. Unfortunately for Goodell, the boos that drowned out Biden's pre-kickoff spiel proved that whatever new audience he's looking for didn't show up for last night's Super Bowl. Now, before you go, make sure to like this video, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel. And you'll definitely want to check out my latest video. I just uploaded it. This is so good. It's on how the media is absolutely shocked as the second impeachment trial is just making President Trump even stronger. They're actually admitting that. You're going to love it. So make sure to click on the link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.